India Legal presents Courts Roundup.
Hello, I am Tanya Chuk and you are watching Courts Roundup. In this program, we bring you the latest legal news and details of court proceedings. Before we begin, here are the headlines. In ETA advocate assault incident, Allahabad High Court orders magisterial inquiry. Instructs submit a complete report on or before the next date of listing. Kerala High Court passes judgment on All India Council for Technical Education. Says AICTE has the power to prescribe mode of recruitment but not empowered to bring in regulations with retrospective effect. On a plea by Anil Ambani's Reliance Communication and Reliance Telecom Limited against declaration of accounts, Delhi High Court orders banks to maintain status quo until the next date of hearing. Jammu and Kashmir High Court holds that minor rape victims are entitled to receive information on status of the accused, including bail.
India Legal presents Courts Roundup.
In the ETA advocate assault incident, Allahabad High Court has ordered magisterial inquiry. Chief Judicial Magistrate will do the inquiry and will submit a complete report on or before the next date of listing.
The Allahabad High Court sought a complete report of the incident wherein Rajendra Sharma, a practicing advocate at ETA, was beaten and manhandled by police and his relatives too were harassed and humiliated. The bench of Chief Justice Govind Mathur and Justice Soumitra Dayal Singh has directed the Chief Judicial Magistrate, ETA, to inquire into the matter and submit a complete report on or before the next date of listing. As per the court's order, the Chief Judicial Magistrate ETA has been directed to make necessary inquiry by availing all relevant facts, including audio-visual electronic documents, and submit to this court on or before next date of listing. Further, the District Magistrate ETA as well as Senior Superintendent of Police ETA have also been directed to cooperate and supply all relevant facts and documents as desired by the Judicial Magistrate ETA to furnish report of the incident to this court. The order of Allahabad High Court has specifically acknowledged the letter sent by the Bar Council of Uttar Pradesh, which was addressed to the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court with a request to take appropriate action in relation to this incident. The court's order also mentions that a letter was received by the Secretariat of the Chief Justice from the High Court Bar Association relating to same issue, and that certain other advocates also agitated the cause through email. The Allahabad High Court took suo motu cognizance of this incident and the matter was listed for today. Significantly, the Bar Council of India has already issued a statement condemning the police assault and had urged the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court and the Chief Justice of India to take suo motu cognizance of the same. While requesting the CJI and CJ of Allahabad High Court to take actions, the BCI had also added that its request was not considered by Uttar Pradesh government. The SCBA also condemned the police assault. Also taking a serious note of this incident, the High Court Bar Council, Allahabad, had sent a letter requesting the Chief Justice of Allahabad Court to take suo motu cognizance of the said incident and pass appropriate orders to maintain the law and order situation of the state. Bureau Report.
For more updates about the case, we have Advocate Shivam Sharma with us. Shivam, tell us about the investigation order given by the court in this case.
The court has ordered that we deem it appropriate to have a complete report of the incident to Chief Judicial Magistrate. The court has further said that Chief Judicial Magistrate is directed to make a necessary inquiry by availing all relevant facts, including audio-visual electronic documents, and submit to this court on or before next day of listing. The district magistrate ETA as well as senior superintendent of police ETA are directed to cooperate the chief judicial magistrate ETA, and they shall display all relevant facts and documents as desired by the court judicial magistrate to furnish report of the incident on this court. The High Court has also directed that the accused should be in custody till next date of hearing, which is January 8, 2021. Yes.
Thank you, Shivam, for joining us. Moving further, the Kerala High Court has passed a judgment holding that All India Council for Technical Education has the power to prescribe mode of recruitment for maintenance of standards of technical education, but it is not empowered to bring in regulations with retrospective effect.
Kerala High Court given a judgment holding on All India Council of Technical Education. The division bench of Justice A.M. Shafiq and Justice Gopinath P. was hearing petitions challenging the common order of the Kerala Administrative Tribunal, which had held that direct recruitment is the only mode of recruitment to the post of lecturer in polytechnic colleges under the government of Kerala. The applicants before the tribunal were persons included in a ranked list prepared by the Kerala Public Service Commission for selection to the post of lecturers in technical streams in polytechnics under the Technical Education Department. They had approached the tribunal contending that in terms of the AICTE regulations on pay scales, service conditions and minimum qualifications for appointment of teachers and other academic staff could be appointed only through direct recruitment. The tribunal accepted the contentions of the applicants before it and held that the recruitment to the post of lecturer could only be by direct recruitment. This finding of the tribunal is under challenge before the Kerala High Court. Elvin Peter, PJ and Ayyappan Sankar, counsel appearing for the petitioners, submitted that the finding of the tribunal is absolutely unsustainable in law. They further contend that such stipulations in the AICTE regulations must not be taken to be binding or mandatory and cannot, at any rate, operate in the face of the special rules. Ragul Sudesh, counsel appearing for the contesting respondents, applicants before the tribunal, contended that act that the AICTE was authorized to stipulate that the appointment to the post of lecturer can only be by way of direct recruitment. While the High Court agreed with the central premise of the argument, the court refused to allow a retrospective interpretation to be given to the AICTE regulations. The court also noted that no provision has been pointed out from the AICTE Act to suggest that the AICTE could frame regulations with retrospective effect. However, all vacancies which arose after the date on which the 2019 regulations came into force shall be filled up only by direct recruitment in accordance with the stipulations contained in those regulations. Bureau Report.
The Mumbai police told a local court in Mumbai that Partho Dasgupta, arrested former CEO of Broadcast Audience Research Council in alleged connivance with another ex-senior BARC official and Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami, manipulated the television rating points of Republic TV and its Hindi arm.
The Mumbai police has claimed that there is evidence to prove that Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami paid kickbacks in lakhs to former senior official of Broadcast Audience Research Council Partho Dasgupta for manipulating the television rating point of Republic TV English and Republic Bharat news channels. Allegation has been made in a remand application seeking extension of police custody of Dasgupta, who was arrested on December 24, 2020 for his alleged involvement in the fake television rating points scam. In their application, the Mumbai police has claimed that during their investigation, they had come across evidence that showed Goswami had paid Dasgupta in return for his assistance in manipulating the TRP. The police said Arnab's further custodial interrogation was required to ascertain if more payments were made and if the same manipulation was done for other news channels too. It further alleged that Dasgupta, while serving as BARC CEO, was privy to confidential information on TRP ratings, poll channels, and a probe was on to find out if the same was revealed to others. It has alleged that They found at Das Gupta's house gold and other precious items allegedly purchased with the money received from Goswami. BARC is an organization responsible for installation of barometers, which is used to measure the TRP. It's the case of Mumbai police that Das Gupta has taken undue advantage of his position in BARC to carry out the illegal manipulation work. In order to show a higher viewership of Republic channels, Das Gupta ended up manipulating figures of the Times Now channel, which incidentally had high viewership. It has been contended. Das Gupta, taking advantage of his position and knowledge, falsely increased TRP ratings of some channels and reduced TRP ratings of other channels, the application alleges. In order to further investigate how the financial transactions happened and how the money was utilized, the police has sought for extension of custody. The Chief Metropolitan Magistrate at Esplanade, Mumbai, had remanded earlier Das Gupta to police custody till December 28, which got extended to December 30. Another accused, Priya Mukherjee, who is the COO of Republic TV, was granted anticipatory bail from Karnataka High Court as well as Mumbai Sessions Court. Romil Ramgria, former Chief Operating Officer of the BARC, was also arrested in the TRP scam by the Mumbai police. He was granted bail by the Esplanade CMM on December 24. Das Gupta is the 15th person to be arrested in a case related to alleged raking of TRP of some news channels. Bureau Report.
Welcome back. You are watching Courts Roundup. Moving on to the next story. The Bombay High Court has granted bail to a 20-year-old boy accused under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, observing that the purpose of rehabilitative sentencing is to reform the offender as a person so that he may become a normal law-abiding member of the community once again. Justice Bharti Dangre was hearing a criminal bail application filed by one Shubham Thorat, who is accused of offences punishable under sections 377, 323, 506 of the IPC and the POCSO Act. Before granting bail, Justice Dangre added an additional stipulation that the accused will continue to undergo counselling at the hands of clinical psychologists, and this should be catered to by the Sassoon General Hospital, Pune. Justice Dangre observed, apart from the seriousness of the accusation which he is facing, his impressionable age will also have to be taken into consideration while dealing with his bail application. Court went on to analyze the psyche of a young man in conflict with the law and reformative or rehabilitative approach to sentencing. Finally, Justice Dangre asked the Dean of the Sassoon General Hospital to open a file in the name of the applicant with the Sassoon Hospital and entrust him to a clinical psychologist and psychiatrist from the said hospital. The Jammu and Kashmir High Court has held that minor rape victims are entitled to receive most appropriate information of the proceedings, which would include the status of accused, including his or her bail, temporary release, parole or pardon, escape, absconding from justice or death. A single bench of Justice Sanjay Dhar observed, thus in view of the guidelines issued by the Union Ministry of Women and Child Development under Section 39 of the POCSO Act, as per Guideline 2.22, contained therein, children have the right to information about the case in which they are involved. Such information would include inter alia, progress of the case, status of the accused, including his or her bail, temporary release, parole or pardon, escape, absconding from justice or death, status of convicted offenders and the enforcement of their sentence, including their possible release, transfer, escape or death, etc. The Registrar Judicial has also been instructed to place this order before the Acting Chief Justice Rajesh Bindal with a request to consider the matter regarding issuance of circular in the above terms. In this case, Justice Dhar was adjudicating upon a bail application filed by one Badrinath, who had been accused of sexually harassing a minor girl. The accused was charged under Section 354A, sexual harassment, 452, house trespass after preparation for hurt, assault or wrongful restraint, and 506, criminal intimidation, and under Section 8 of POCSO Act. Justice Sanjay Dhar, in his judgment, also laid down that presumption of the guilt against the accused under Section 29 of the POCSO Act would come into play even during the pre-trial stage. He went on to reject the bail application filed by the petitioner. The Indore bench of Madhya Pradesh High Court recently stayed a lower court order rejecting a closure report filed in case against former IPS officer Mayank Jain. The former bureaucrat was earlier retired from service following a Madhya Pradesh Lokyukt raid that found him to be in possession of disproportionate assets. Following an inquiry, the Lokyukt Special Police Establishment concluded that there was insufficient evidence to proceed against the officer. Rejecting the closure report, the trial court instead directed the prosecution to obtain the requisite sanction to institute proceedings against Jain. Aggrieved by this order, Jain moved the High Court challenging the rejection of Lokyukt closure report. Before the High Court, Advocate Siddharth Sharma, appearing for Jain, asserted that the trial court could not have directed to the prosecution to obtain sanction after a closure report was filed. He contended that there are only three options available to a lower court: acceptance of the closure report, directing further investigation, treating the case as a complaint case. The prosecution sought time to obtain instructions but stated that it would have no option but to grant sanction for prosecution in terms of the trial court order. Staying the trial court order till the next hearing, the division bench of Justices Prakash Srivastav and Shailendra Shukla proceeded to adjourn the matter to January 11, 2021. Jain, a 1995 cadre IPS officer, was an Inspector General in Bhopal when disproportionate assets were recovered during the raid. The Supreme Court has notified the new roster determining the allocation of cases to its different benches, which comes into effect upon the reopening of court post the winter break on January 4, 2021. The new roster is identical to previous one notified in October. As per the new roster, PILs and letter petitions are to be dealt with by benches headed by CJI Justices Ramana, Nariman, Lalit, Khanwilkar, Chandrachud, Ashok Bhushan and Nageshwara Rao. Election matters, social justice matters and habeas corpus continue to remain with the bench headed by the CJI only. Contempt of court matters are allotted to benches headed by the CJI and Justice U.U. Lalit. Religious and charitable endowment matters are allotted to the benches headed by Justice N.V. Ramana, U.U. Lalit, D.Y. Chandrachud and Ashok Bhushan. Arbitration matters to benches of CJI, Justice Ramana, R.F. Nariman, Indu Malhotra and Indira Banerjee. The subject-wise roster system was introduced by former CJI Deepak Mishra in February 2018 in the backdrop of Master of Roster controversy, which erupted after the press conference by 4 senior judges who alleged that CJI was selectively assigning cases to benches of preferences, ignoring seniority of judges. A petition has been filed in the Supreme Court seeking directions for the appointment of the President, members and the staff at District and State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission across India. The plea by Saloni Gautam, filed through advocates Om Prakash Parihar and Dushyant Tiwari, avers that on July 20, 2020, the Consumer Protection Act 2019 came into force, bringing in changes to the pecuniary jurisdictions of the district, state and national commissions. The pecuniary limit for the district commissions has been increased to Rs 1 crore from up to Rs 20 lakh. For the state commissions, it has been increased to Rs 10 crore from Rs 1 crore, and for the national commission, the pecuniary jurisdiction has been increased to over and above Rs 10 crore as against Rs 1 crore as per the 1986 Act. The plea states that the governments of various states have not made any arrangement to fill the post of presidents and members of consumer commissions. This would lead to delay in passing final order or judgment by these commissions, it has been claimed. In August this year, the petitioner had filed right to information applications seeking information from the central government and the states of Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and the Union Territory of Chandigarh regarding the vacancies at consumer redressal commissions. The petitioner has further stated that more than 16 posts of president and 25 of members are lying vacant in the district consumer disputes redressal forums across Punjab, and some of the posts are believed to have been lying vacant for past 2 years. In the light, the plea also prays for a direction to provide proper infrastructure to consumer commissions. That's all for Courts Roundup. Thank you for tuning in. Keep watching APN.
India Legal presents Courts Roundup.